Hello, everybody. This is Daniel and Catherine back here for day 5 of our Embodied Wisdom Challenge. Don't shoot the messenger. So welcome back. Welcome back. I hope you're enjoying your journey. It's been amazing to watch and share in your journey with everybody commenting on the Facebook group. Thank you so much.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Thanks so much for being here these last 5 days, or even if this is your first day watching the live, welcome. It's been amazing watching everyone's comments. It's obvious that, people are allowing themselves to explore this and get curious and be playful. And it seems like it's paying off with just more attention and awareness, a deeper connection with your body. And what will happen as you continue to pursue this, because this is about awareness and consciousness, is that you will find that a lot of the issues that you are probably dealing with, and the reason why you're here, you start to have a new perspective on them and a new ideas and kind of realities around those that will help you be creative when you're dealing with them. And some of them may actually even disappear as a result of this. I've seen that happen before. So just be very aware, that it's all about consciousness. So as you move forward, think about ways that you can continue to put your attention on this after the challenge is over.
Yes. So it's funny because I just was working with the client right before this call, and same thing happened. We kind of go in there using the body and stuff comes up, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow, there's this other thing that I didn't realize was going to be there. And for her, it was like, that kind of explains my whole life.
Exactly.
It's just it's really wild where the body is storing gifts for us. And all we have to do is just be willing to go there, to let go, to listen, to receive information, and to keep going. So today we're going to talk about continuing and taking what, in terms of our challenge, is kind of the last step of really cementing this new, deeper relationship with our body. And we're going to be looking at an aspect of being in relationship to anybody, which is really key in order to set the ground and to keep the ground very well tilled for very, very full, bountiful crops to come out of it. So if we don't deal with this particular thing, there's going to be big limits on how deep we can go. So we've talked about letting go, listening, receiving the communication, empathizing, really allowing ourselves to kind of go there and be in the position and feel the effects of what it is that's being told to us. And then Catherine is going to introduce this last piece, which is what day 5 is dedicated to.
Yeah, I'd like to just point out that all of these things that we've gone through so far as a way of developing a relationship and intimacy with your own physical being are the very same steps you go through when you're developing an intimate relationship with another human being. So it will start to make sense to you why we've decided that you should objectify your body and project it out there as a child, because you are really developing this intimate relationship. A key piece to any relationship is respect. And in this case, respect is not some ideological thing or some abstract kind of thing. Not that it ever is, but it can be. There's this idea of respect, right? Respect is really about believing what you hear, taking it seriously. You need to start from that place of believing. You don't want to insist that something needs proof. Now, if you're listening to the news or you're listening to a politician, you definitely want to have some skepticism. But when it comes to your body, you want to just be like, okay, it's talking to me. It must be saying something for a reason. there's got to be a reason behind this, and there's no need to have proof in that. You may not like the form the message is taking. Like if your body is speaking to you, like, you know, having a headache, as we've mentioned, or being tired, or anxiety, you may not like that message, but you make the choice, you know, especially through the 4 previous steps that we did, you're making the choice to say, okay, but I believe you. I believe you that something is making you anxious, and I need to find out what that is. There's some reason anxiety is arising in your experience, and therefore you need to pay attention to this and take it seriously. So sometimes the reasons behind that you'll uncover are not what you think they are. Okay, so there may not be a direct, what you feel is a direct correlation between anxiety and the thing that's causing it. You know, maybe it's some past experience from years ago and it's being triggered. So there's nothing current in the moment that you feel should be making you anxious, but it's something from the way back. But that's how you find out, is by first making the decision to respect and believe that you are getting this message for a reason. So I'll tell you a little story, because I find it easier to understand things through stories. So imagine this little child comes to you and tells you the story of being bullied at school. And they bring that up to you, you know, crying and tearful. And years ago, I've heard this story many times, you know, from people I know that are our age, is like, you know, if I came home and told my sister that the teacher slapped me, or that somebody punched me or did that, they would have just said, oh, well, you must have done something wrong. It's your fault. You know, go just suck it up and get on with it, you know, or you need to learn how to protect yourself. So get back in there and fight back. And there wouldn't have been any kind of intervention, or even a belief that it was a serious situation, or that it was something that you might need help or support with. And oftentimes that's the very way that we respond to our own bodies, is our bodies respond with something like anxiety, and you're like, you don't have any reason to be anxious. Just stop it. You know, just have the Snickers bar, you know, that'll calm you down. You know, and you kind of divert away from it, or you start to worry and think, what's wrong with me that I have this anxiety? There's something wrong with me. I need to hide this because people can't know in my work or my job or my family. If they know that I'm this anxious mess, they're going to think I'm not capable or competent. And so then you try to repress it. There's a lot of different responses that basically are about you saying, I don't believe you. I don't believe that this is a real, sincere issue. And so therefore I'm going to use these other tactics to avoid it and ignore it. On the other hand, you can see that if nowadays, especially if a child comes and says, I'm being bullied, you need to ask questions. You need to find out, oh, well, what's actually going on here? Is this a real issue, or is this an issue of maybe feeling oversensitive to something, you know, which is still an issue that needs to be dealt with. But what is going on there? And so you'll find that in this process of, sorry about, no matter what I do, there's always barking. So, and this is kind of like the body. The body's always like, hey, sorry, I know you tried that. You tried that tactic. You tried that tactic. You tried to ignore me, but here I am again. You cannot ignore me. So the idea, though, is that once you have that belief, you don't have to just take it at face value. Like if you're anxious, like you don't have to just assume, okay, well, I better go on anti-anxiety meds. Maybe that's the right choice, but maybe it's not. Maybe there's some other intervention or some other way of getting to the root of that problem. And so questions are important. Questions that you go in as we've been guiding you, and you start to ask questions and find out, where is this cry for help going to lead me? What am I going to find out? And yeah, so that's kind of the basic of what we're doing today.
Yeah. And so it's like to actually from the get-go, extend the amazing gift of belief to our body. So
Right.
imagine in your own life, there's somebody who, you know, is important to you, whether you know them that well or not, but there's something, and then you come to them with something that's difficult in your own life. And the first way in which they respond to that is, I believe you, tell me more. And this is something that you've been holding on to for a hell of a long time. So this is what our bodies have done with a lot of stuff in our life in different ways. It's all kinds of things, but it's trying to find somebody, meaning you, who's willing to stop and listen, take it seriously, and then from there find the appropriate response that actually deals with the core of the problem. So the thing about this is, we talked about relationships, is this kind of builds it's just such deep trust to know that you're first and foremost going to be believed, because that's the way you see it. It is the way you see it. So whether or not somebody else would have told the story differently is irrelevant. That's the way you see it. And to have somebody actually be willing to hear you is the biggest gift. So this is what we're saying is step 5 in extending this to our bodies. Because as Catherine said at the beginning of this, and we set up at the beginning of this challenge, is we basically, from the one thing that we kind of think of as us, we created 2. We created you and your body, so that there's a way in which to engage this where you can have communication and dialogue. And there is definitely validity to this as more than just a framework, but it's a framework that supports something new. But remember that both of these are you. So to have that kind of deep trust, deep respect, deep willingness to embrace the wholeness of who we are is the most profound gift that we can give to ourselves. So instead of doing what we've been doing in many ways, which is ignore these messages, try to override them, get beyond them, if we actually start to do what you've started to do already on this challenge, stop, listen, receive the message, and then avoid, which as we talked about last time, avoid the temptation, even as you're learning something new, to then kind of go back to, okay, now I know I just need to do this and fix it. But your body's still waiting. Like when we do that, it's like, oh, I see now. Now I'm just going to do this. Now I'm just going to do that. Your body's still saying, but I haven't told you the most important part. So imagine being so deeply allowing and trusting in ourselves that we can give ourselves to our body that way, saying, look, you know, for those of you who have kids or anybody young, like you're just there for whatever they're going to tell you, you're there. Even though it's the last thing you want to hear come out of their mouth, you just know you're there.
Right.
So this is the same kind of thing that we're saying with our body and actually opening up to receiving message. This is the extra little bit added to everything we've been doing. It's that level of commitment that just says, I'm here. I believe you. I'm here. So in this way of speaking, the goal of this communication that we're talking about in these 5 days is to resolve that problem that you came in to work on. That's still there. But before that, and in order to get there, the goal is to be so there, so constantly, consistently there, that we really are able to get to the bottom of it.
Right.
So it's a really profound thing. There's a way in which you can be in your life in so many ways where we don't have this split in ourselves any longer, because we're just so there to register how life is affecting us, that we start making better decisions because we're not running for, I mean, so much in our lives change when we're really there for the information that our body can give us that our mind so quickly wants to dismiss.
It's really amazing, like, because when I think about being believed and listened to and kind of receptivity, all of these things, these are all gifts that you're giving really to yourself. And especially for women, I think, especially for women, minority women, I mean, this problem of not being believed, you can see this in the Me Too movement, and I'm not saying the Me Too movement is perfect in any way, but you can see that why is it that everyone's always talking about we have to believe? And I think it's rooted in this. It's in this disconnection with even our own bodies and even our belief in what our own bodies are telling us. You see, so it's it's a fundamental issue, even though it may be unconscious to a lot of people, that this is one of the reasons why this belief part is just so important on a larger cultural level as well. So I think it would be good, we can go into the guided part, right?
Yeah.
So what we'd like to do is I'll take you through the first part with the breath, so you can kind of quickly kind of and easily review the first few steps that we did in the challenge. And then Daniel will pick it up and he'll take you through a guided visualization that will do the same thing and bring you to this place of questioning, give you examples of how to ask questions while you're in the midst of this process. So what I'd like to have you do is just find a comfortable place, close your eyes, make sure, and I'm going to shut my door. It seems like things are happening, loud things are happening.
Speaking of kids, maybe the grandkids for a while.
It's that kind of day.
Yeah.
Things are getting a little messy out there. Okay. So now that you found a comfortable place to sit and you're relaxed and you're not worried about anything, if there's any worry whatsoever, or any tension or frustration or resistance, you're just going to take that big breath through the mouth, just let it out. And then when your body's ready, receive that inhalation through the nose. Let your whole body expand. And then breathe out through the nose. And then when you're ready, you receive that breath. You listen to the body as you're inhaling. You're paying attention. What does it feel like to receive that body, that breath? What does it feel like to receive that and to allow it to fill you up? What does it feel like when you are ready to exhale, that exhalation? How does that feel in the body? What feelings arise as you're allowing things to just let go? Knowing that you're believed, knowing that you're respected. What kind of relief does that bring? You know, with the inhalation. How much easier is it to inhale knowing that you're believed and respected? How much more letting go can you feel? How much relief do you feel in the exhalation, knowing that you don't have to be worried about being doubted? Knowing that you're understood, or that you will be understood. You know, that you're in good hands. Follow your own rhythm. Believe your body when it says, okay, that's enough. I can't expand any further on this inhalation. Believe your body when it's ready to exhale and allow it to just exhale. Believe your body when it says, okay, I'm ready to inhale now. I'm ready to take in that breath. You don't need to push in any direction because your body knows exactly what to do. You're just allowing it to happen. And in that belief, in that rhythm, in that collaboration together, there's a deep respect and intimacy. And so allow yourself to feel the effects of that respect, that intimacy, that trust. in your body and its ability to inhale and exhale fully, completely, and with ease, with joy. And notice that everything's heightened. You can listen now. Your attention is freed up. You can receive and begin to understand. And then when you're ready, you can start to bring your attention to Daniel's words as he guides you through this guided visualization.
So just continuing right where you are, having let go, I've started to tune in to listening to your body, feeling, and just receiving what's there. Bring to mind what it is that you wanted to work on in this 5-day challenge. Bring it to mind, letting go, just allowing the need to fix it to fall away for now. You've come seeking answers, resolution, and to deeply get to know what there's here for you. So ask your body where it has information for you today. If you haven't already, say hello. Hello, dear friend, I'm back. I told you I'd come back. I'm here. Where do you have information for me today towards the resolution of this particular issue? And like you've learned to do, just receive that and trust and go there. Go to where you've been led and begin to sense, to experience what's there for you in all the ways that you're starting to become familiar, that your body speaks to you and the forms in which you receive that communication. So now taking this further in terms of empathizing with what you are experiencing, that you're sensing, allow yourself to be impacted or touched by what you sense. In whatever way that means, can mean all kinds of different things. But don't just be a spectator to the communication. Let it impact you. And allow yourself, whether it makes sense to you or not, whether you know how to deal with what you're getting or not, to believe it, to respect that your body is telling you what it needs to tell you from its perspective. Tell me more. Things like, that must be so difficult. Tell me what that's like. Oh, really? I don't quite understand, but I really want to understand. Help me to understand what this means. I'm here because I want to know you. I want to receive the information that you have for me. Wow, I didn't realize that. Help me understand what that must be like. Ask for the history. Get to know, be interested in knowing, receiving, and experiencing and feeling the history behind all of that. This is believing and respecting. even if you don't quite understand, extending yourself, knowing that what's trying to be communicated to you is, in fact, your body's experience of something that you may not yet know or understand. Beautiful. So, asking questions, wanting to know more about the perspective being shown to you, is extending respect. So, now begin your goodbyes for now. Thank your body for its extending trust to you, understanding that you've just practiced a deeper level of trust in yourself. And bring all of that back, including this deeper trust in yourself, back and back to where we began. Back to sitting in the chair or being wherever it is that your body is. And move your fingers, move your toes, just bring yourself back up to a little bit more active state of consciousness.
Take a deep breath in too. Remember to breathe. Exhale to kind of let go of that process and get more into the next step. So I always find these guided visualizations very, very helpful, because then you don't have to try and take yourself through these, ask these questions yourself. So what I'd like to tell you that kind of for tomorrow, I'm going to be sending out an email with all 5 of the videos in it. So you'll have an email with all those videos in one place. It'll help you refer to them. I want you to make sure you save that email and you put it in an archive folder somewhere, because you can kind of circle back and go through these 5 steps over and over again. You can go back to a particular one that interests you, or that where you feel is a particular sticking point. Like maybe you feel you're getting really good at letting go, but the next step of listening is really difficult. And you can take that art that of listening, and you can start to apply it also in the relationships that you have with your family, with your colleagues. You can do it while you're taking walks by yourself. But you can start to fine tune that. You'll start to notice where that skill comes in handy in all of your relationships with the world. So I would just really encourage you to get playful and try all kinds of different ways of interacting with this material. And then let us know what's working for you. Let us know if there's creative ways you're using it that's different than how we presented it. We really want to know what's working for everybody. In a couple of days, we'll send out a survey. And in that survey, we're going to ask you some questions, which will also give us feedback and help us to understand, what can we be offering in the future? How can we fine tune this? We'd like to do much longer programs. So we're going to be exploring all kinds of different innovative ways to keep presenting material to you and collaborating together, Daniel and I, so that we can be offering more exciting programs and things that can help you in this area.
Because this tool, we did it in a very, to really kind of teach it, we did it in a very controlled kind of a way, and coming together and doing this. But it's amazing, like the timing of this session I had with this mentorship client right before this was amazing, because it showed me, because I did with her basically exactly what we do here, a little bit modified, same idea, more kind of and sort of quick and the stuff, because I taught her these things. And it's just amazing what can open up, and then helped her to see it's like, look, you just do this out in life when you're in a situation you don't understand. Just you take a minute, do this quickly, tune into this other level of wisdom. And once you get the trust, that was amazing is she just like, oh yeah, that's simple. Whereas Whereas literally a minute before, it's like, I don't know what to do with this, da 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 da. And you tuned her into this other, and it was just like, no, that's simple. It's so,
Right.
this is
Exactly.
not that far away, but it takes some time just to practice it, and then how to use it in every area of your life when you're trying to get um, to clearing obstacles out of the way, making things clear when they're not clear,
Yeah.
because this gets to a level that the mind just can't reach. The thinking brain is wonderful, but it's just certain places it can't get to, and
Yeah.
this gets you there.
Yeah, exactly. I absolutely agree. So um, one of the things that Gina was just saying, I just saw, she said, I think I signed up for too many things at once. That is a very typical issue. And so, of course, I think this is the most important one for you to be listening to. But I'll tell you the reason for that. It's not just because we're doing it. It's also because this knowledge and this wisdom is so fundamental to how we engage with life, and the tendency to, there's so much information. Oh my God, I am so guilty of this. I have stacks of books I haven't read. I have courses I've signed up for that I haven't done. Um, and the reason is because in those moments, what I've seen is I think I don't have that information inside of me. I think, oh my God, they have the information. They know better than I do. If I don't have that information, I won't be able to do my job. I won't be able to live my life. I won't be able to be the kind of person I want to be, right? And so what we're trying to do here is not just give you more information or feed on that sense of lack in your own self. What I feel we're really trying to do here is help you get to the source of your own wisdom. It doesn't mean that you won't learn from us or other people. It doesn't mean that you won't want to reach out there and get knowledge from other places. That's absolutely a natural thing to do. What it means, though, is that you will have a kind of grounding, a trust, a stability um, in yourself and in your own ability to access this wisdom that's right for you. And then having that as the core, as the center, then you can start to understand better, like, why am I reaching out for this? Am I reaching out for this out of lack? Or is it real need, curiosity? And then you'll be able to be a little bit more discerning, I think, about whether or not you choose to engage with some of these other things. There's just so many things to sign up for. So I'm so glad that you brought that up. Uh,
Gina,
Gina, right. I was like, who brought that up?
yeah.
Yes, it's Gina. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that you brought that up, because it's such a typical problem, and I am just as prone to it as anybody else. But when you see where that's coming from, it's a little bit easier than to say, no, I don't really need that. It's okay. I have what I need here, maybe later. So I hope that was helpful.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Great. Wow.
So
So it's going to be weird not coming and seeing you all every day.
this has been, I've really enjoyed this a lot. This has been really great. And I just I want to, as we're wrapping up, I want to say, please, we're going to be checking the Facebook group for a while. So please come back and post. I really am curious, once you do today's visualization, I'm really would appreciate knowing, because Andrea just made a comment about something came up for her that's related but different. It's just like when you open up space, I just learned, like, whatever shows up, it's important. And
Yeah.
then it's just learning to trust it so that it can really kind of complete the communication. But it's important because you're showing up and it said, finally we got her attention. Bah, here you go. So and I would really love to hear from everybody. So please put your comments in and keep participating in the group for a little bit, because we'll be in there and giving some responses and help you to go further if you would like. And I would also really, along with Catherine, would also really appreciate you taking a couple of minutes to complete the survey so that we kind of get some idea of what was great, what could be better, et cetera, because we really would like to keep this going. This has been phenomenal for me because I wasn't sure exactly how this was going to be. And I'm seeing in people that are sharing, wow, we can actually um, get people into this fairly quickly. And then it just, once you get in there, once you started to learn this tool, that's how do you become more masterful at using this tool of communication in this way. And then once you got the tool, where can you use it? How do you use it in these different parts of your life? There's a
Yeah.
lot to be learned, so that really you're giving yourself another skill set, another set of tools than just the thinking mind. Again, it's really great, but it's got its limitations. So how to do it so you're really working as a whole person, trying to find your way through your life, rather than the partial person that we're trying to make our way through life most of the time.
Absolutely. And so it's been a great way to collaborate also, because I see this stuff all the time in the women that I work with and the women that I hear from and communicate with. And so we, again, we'd love to hear what you think of this collaboration, um, and how it's worked for you, what you've learned, what you'd like to see more of. All right. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for all comments and future comments.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay. Bye for
Take
now.
care. Bye for now.